So this is Sonic the Hedgehog once again. Another new hack to the emulator I've made this time, which is that I am stopping it from drawing any sprites. So I'm going to go back. I know there's a shield there from having played this game plenty of times before. I think I got it. So yes, I'm playing the game without being able to see any sprites. So I wrote a couple of extra lines into the emulator. So there's a bit of the code where the emulator, it draws a background layer, draws the next layer, which is all kind of like screen objects, like scenery and stuff. And then the next layer is sprites, which is Sonic, rings, the text on the screen. Well, I made it through the first level. That's pretty good. And basically, I added the word return into all of those bits where it goes to draw the different bits of graphics that are to do with sprites. And this is what we get. So you can see the landscape, but you can't see any enemies, collectibles, TVs, rings, and you can't see Sonic. You won't be able to see Robotnik. I don't know if you'll see the moving platforms here, if you've watched my previous ones, and no, you can't. So I am just kind of going by where is the middle of the screen, what do I expect to be there. I thought he was on a platform, and I got to figure it out. So yeah, I was surprised how easy Act 1 was. I guess that's from mostly... It's a combination of things. Like, I've played this game a lot. Certainly these first couple of levels I played a lot. And I guess Green Hill Zone is sort of fairly straightforward, fairly uneventful, so it kind of... Generally, this... Green Hill Zone's not trying to throw traps at you, so it usually gives you plenty of time and space to get past everything it has to show you. Now, I'm on one of these moving platforms. I think I'm going to wait... Oh, there's an enemy there. There's an enemy that's shooting me if I wait too long at that bit. And I've got to remember there's the piranhas there. So watch out for them. But this is seeming surprisingly painless compared to the other two hacks that I tried. Like, this is seeming relatively straightforward. I wonder if I might get onto some later levels with this one. I mean, my plan is to give myself 2 hours and see where I am at the end of 2 hours. I am assuming that Sonic is roughly in the middle of the screen at most times. I went past the checkpoint there, so that's really good. I've got infinite lives switched on, just to save me having to do the same bits over and over again. I want to get into later bits and see where I end up. It's quite nice just watching the background, just seeing the waterfalls. But yeah, Act 3, I'm just expecting one of the first challenging sections. Like, I know there's a spring there, I know that from memory. I don't know what I hit into there. I'm expecting one of the first big challenges is going to be Dr. Robotnik. I'm going to have to kind of guess where he is on the screen. Sounds seem to go there. Oh, that's kind of cool. That breakable wall, which you have to roll through. That breakable wall looks like it's always broken. You can largely anticipate Sonic is mostly going to be in the middle of the screen. Obviously, in places where the screen is stuck, like bosses, I can't make that assumption. I heard something crumble. I think it was a bridge. So I did not know there was a spring there. I assume I jumped in some spikes. The Sonic one has a nice sort of added challenge. It's nice that I remembered that there's an invincibility box there. I also remember there's a spring up here. You can tell by whether or not the screen's scrolling whether you're stuck behind something, and like I guess I know the physics well enough to know. I knew there was a live there. I know the physics well enough to know that even though there's a spring there, Sonic's going to stand just to the side of it. That's kind of cute. This so that's usually got rotating spikes on it, and the beam's still there, but the spikes aren't, which is kind of curious because I don't know why I would have expected them to draw the two things. That would be the one sprite rather than one for the back and one for the front. And I knew there was a rising platform going up and down there, so I was able to kind of use prior experience to get through that bit. And I also know there's a checkpoint coming up here, and this checkpoint takes us to Dr. Robotnik. No idea where I am. Okay, I think this might be quite difficult because I had absolutely no idea where I was there. So I'm going to go get some rings. I think there's an invincibility up in one of these trees, so that might be a useful thing for me to get. I think there is. I don't know. Did I get it? Did I not get it? I don't know. As in, I think I've got a ring. So, I think I'm on the bottom left now. And I jumped straight into the wrecking ball. And I've lost all my rings. I don't know, is the wrecking ball on the left or the right? So I'm going to guess... I'm kind of just guessing when to jump. And when I do jump, I just hold the other direction and pray. Jump, hold the direction, and pray. Nope, too early. I'm surprised I got a couple of hits in there. If I can figure out a way to get my rings back after I get hit, that will be ideal. I hit something. It might have been a buzz bomber. Nope. You can't see where your rings go. That's tough. I think I got something out of a tree there. Ooh, I felt the screen kind of block. All right. So I jumped. I could tell the palm tree was blocking me, but I couldn't tell why. So, oh, I get 2 rings. Oh well. On to Dr. Robotnik again. So I know I can get him twice. Does he swing the wrecking ball to the left or the right first? That's a big question. I'm going to get these rings out of the palm tree just to give myself an extra bit of buffer. If I can get on the palm tree. And I also know there's a buzz bomber over there that's going to try and get me, so there I go. 1, 2. And those are the 3 hits I can get, so I'm just running to the left. Imagining a wrecking ball, just guessing where it's swinging. That's where it was. And I didn't even hit Robotnik. This is a tough one. So I think I'm on the bottom left now. I don't know where the wrecking ball is. Four, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I did it! I guess I just had to find the rhythm and guess it. So here's, oh, I was expecting it to take me ages to figure out how to jump onto the button. But that's it, that's Green Hill Zone done. That was surprisingly straightforward. I'm quite pleased with that. Okay, Marble Zone. I think I've said before in both of my weird Sonic playthroughs that I've done before now, the Marble Zone is that much harder because Marble Zone tries to kill you. At least with that, I can kind of guess where everything is. And it's kind of cool to see the bits of level that are sprites and the bits that aren't. So there's pipes that are meant to come up and down here. And I guess if I can get through, I will. And as long as I don't go through too early where they're coming down. As long as I come in when they're going up. I heard the bats and I forgot the bats were there. But it's funny, you've got these bits where there's platforms, and I'd forgotten that there were platforms there. So it looks like you're jumping over a big crevasse, and actually you're fine, you're safe. And then you've got this bit where it's like, you know, there's these bits that are kind of spaced apart, but you don't know exactly how far spaced apart they are. So now this is kind of a waiting game. We have to wait for there to be a gap, and you can just, I'm just holding left and jumping, and that's got me all the way through here. And now I know I push this block to the right, it goes in the hole. I can hear there's bats, so I'm jumping around because I know they're going to hit me. And I'm just going to jump up and down while I wait for these bats to get out of the way. And down I go, and I know there's a checkpoint here. And a shield. So I just hold right here. And I can get through. And now I kind of just have to guess where all the stuff is here. And hope there's rings. There's rings. Now, I know that slam sound means that the trap's landed. This bit, I have to figure out how to time it to land on the things coming in and out of the walls. So I assume... okay. Maybe if I go slightly on the edge and I can tell when it's moving me back is when to jump for the next one. The timing is kind of funny on that. You have to... I should have waited till I knew it was going up. So if I go to the middle, and then when I feel Sonic moving to the left, that's when I know I should move. Up I go. Ooh, there is a lot of stuff there which could kill me. Shield. Here, and now I don't have the rings to protect me, so I have to kind of anticipate where I think those rocks are going to land. And wherever I guessed incorrectly. Well, this is hard. You don't get quite the level of feedback you really need to solve these problems. Nearly close. There was a first bit where I could kind of guess the distances I needed to move. And then I'd get to a point where I was like... Then I hurt myself, and then I think that's when you just bolt to the right and hope for the best. I guess there is a certain amount of that comes up in this, is just... There's a point where you do just have to hope for the best. See, when you can feel this is coming, bring you to the right, you know it's finished extending and it's time for the other one to come through, but the question is how far, because you kind of need to be running on that. Ooh. Well, that's different. I think it's just drawing the screen funny. I don't think that's... Yeah, I think it was just drawing the screen funny. Hurt myself but got the ring, that's good. And now there's these kind of stompy things which come down from above. I know there's enemies here, so I have to be careful. Oh. The sound of a ring is the most satisfying sound ever, because you know it means protection. Well, this is further than I got with the weird screen... No, it's not. Nearly further than I got with the weird screen drawing glitches. So I am making much faster progress in this one. I guess I do have, you know, the controller and the controller doing the sort of screen sorting thing, and you know, they are two different things in what they're... I kind of, you know, when I'm doing these, what I'm looking to do is recreate the experience, but take away one bit of information from the game. So with the controllers, it was the bit of information I was taking away was... I really have to think here. The bit of information I was taking away was, so with the controllers, it was the bit of information that tells you, you know, that means not having to think about what, about the controller. And with the colour sorting one, oh god, I've just got to guess where they are now. Or just run! Run for your life, Sonic! I know there's a spring there. With the color sorting, like, I know that part of the challenge is, you know, the bit of information I've taken away is visual information. It's like, where is everything on the screen relative to everything else? So with this, I still have, you know, obviously, it's obvious which bit of visual information I've taken away. I've taken away where the player is and where all the interactable objects are. And, you know, I am able to fill in fairly sizable chunks of that from memory. And it does help that Sonic is a fairly forgiving game, particularly in terms of penalising you for getting things wrong. Like, if you get hurt, you can pick up the rings again. Not being able to see those rings and having a time limit between you losing them and you being able to get them again makes a difference. But I am able to, like, I knew from memory from playing this level, like, recently, I knew this level, I had sort of key bits of information in memory there. Like, I remembered that there were falling platforms there that I needed to jump on. This level, I have very little recollection of. I also remember that this was quite long, so this one might be a bit more of a struggle. Let's see. No idea. Because that genuinely just looks like a big old lava pit, doesn't it? I can remember from playing this before, there's something about a switch over here. Ah, there it is in the top left. I don't know if that was an enemy. Oh, something killed me. I don't know what it was. Oh! It's falling platforms over lava in this bit. That's what this is. So I just need to listen for when they drop. But how far away are they? When am I in the lava? That's something I don't know. I didn't know I had rings there, so honestly, I feel like I dodged a bullet. So yeah, I guess I feel like I have slightly more to work with in terms of information than I did in previous like mods. Am I meant to go up and to the left or up and to the right there? I tried going up and to the right and that did not seem to help me much. What am I standing on there? Should I just be jumping through the lava there? Is that... Because I heard the weight come down and make a slam noise, which suggests that I'm doing something right. Like, if I just go slightly off. Am I in a good spot or a bad spot? I don't know what I'm standing on. Okay, making back to where we were. I know there's a caterpillar down there. On the moving platform, so once you lose the rock there, so you're meant to push Sonic's pushing a rock into lava, and you're meant to stand on the rock and let the lava flow kind of float it along there. But there's these platforms in the way which push you back into the lava. So you need to jump onto the platform, and when the rock has reached the other side, then you are meant to... When the rock's reached the other side, you land back down on the rock. However, I can't see the rock. I can't see how big the platforms are. So I can see when I stop. And just try and keep moving at the same speed I was moving at. And then hope I land on the platform. And I did not. There's a platform on... I think there's a platform over there on the far right where if you miss the first moving rock, there's a second one waiting for you. But I guess my point is, if I match the speed of the rock I'm standing on, then I should kind of be fine. I mean, to be fair, I've not really tried to come up with a strategy for that bit that just killed me there. I guess because I already know that I can do it to an extent, I'm going to go down here and see if I can do anything this way. Where am I? Nice over here, nothing nice to the right but left there. Where am I? Or do I have to roll through that thing? Evidently. Okay, I got rings. So this is moving, and then when I jump off of it, it stops, and that means I need to jump. And I need to try and keep on moving at the speed of the thing that I landed on. And when I get launched up, jump and to the left. I landed on something. I don't know what I landed on. Oh no, that's just a platform that sinks into the ground. So I got up there. I need to jump to the jump up to the left bit and then jump down to the right. But in doing so, I need to figure out how far I can go. Like, how far to the right can I go before I need to jump? And maybe I just sort of trial and error it. I think I'm going to go the top route for this, because I seem to get through that without much trouble before. So here we go, we've got a moving platform there. I'm not entirely sure what is here, what the traps are. But I seem to be able to get through them without too much trouble. That's me rolling to get through there, and I know there's a ring box there. Caterpillar doesn't always seem to be there. What's kind of disconcerting about this bit is when Sonic lands back down on the platform, sometimes the camera stops for like 1 frame, so it feels like you missed the boat. Like there. Well, now I've got to go right one. Or are you meant to wait for the second one and jump? Because I know there's 2 lava jets, and one of them pushes you. Wait, do you wait for a second and then jump to the right? Or am I jumping too early to go from the platform on the top left? So that bit seems fairly straightforward. It's nice, I guess it's nice that I've come up with some kind of strategy. And then here onto the lava bit. I always take a bit of damage here. Let's see if I can change that. I'm concentrating very intently on whether or not the camera's moving and using that to inform me on where is Sonic right now. So it leaps me up in the air once, and then does it do it again? And that's how I get up there. Is there a checkpoint here? I wish there was a checkpoint here. And I know there's a secret route here, so that's good. And this is the bit where you go through the wall. And then I think it's up and to the left, I think. Oh, these steps! They'll stab you. Okay, I guess I need to just go up there with rings and blast through it. But that's progress, and I feel like I can repeat that. I feel like I figured out there a kind of a step of repeatable steps for getting past that bit. So this is reassuring in a way that I guess other bits haven't been quite so reassuring. I think I can hear spikes going in and out there, but I don't know where they are, so I'm just kind of guessing. Like, I know there's a caterpillar there, but I never seem to bump into it if I go the top route. So, wait for it to push me, and then try and I know if I fall off of it, it'll be to my left. That's another thing I can glean from all this. So ignore the first leap, and then take the second one. Ah, those are spike pits. I don't know what's making that noise. I don't think I have any rings for this bit. I'm gonna get the life because it feels nice to get the life. And then this thing comes up and down. Oh. I was thinking, when I can't hear that thing anymore, it means it's all the way at the top, so it's safe to move. I think that's still the right way to look at it, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure. So... I think that's a pipe moving up and down in that bit there. I don't mind so much losing the rings there, because I know there's a ring TV at the bottom left of the next section. So I come through here, roll through here, and then that's a 10 ring box, so I know that's protection. So on we go. Having to concentrate super hard on that bit. And then wait for the second. That's when I jump up here. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah. Okay, I forgot. Well, or did I? Well, I knew there was an enemy there, but I didn't know it went so far to the right. I thought it was in the middle of that platform, but presumably it moves left to right. Sure what hurt me, but we move on. That was a platform. Wow, I can't believe that. I think I just intuited where that was going to be and I got it right. That's really weird because, you know, you look at the other examples of these weird things that I've done, I've been able to intuit very little. And so the feeling of being able to intuit something for once in one of these weird hacks is a very odd feeling. So I'm hearing that going up. I heard it go quiet. I'm going to jump up and down. I lost my rings. I don't know if I got any back. Guess you can't hear over the bats. Okay, there was something in a TV. I really want there to be a checkpoint somewhere around here. But there are none. So we go to some lava pits. At least I can see where I need to jump here. Much easier to do this bit from this direction, I think. I was just guessing at where the spikes were there. And it's annoying that they're... Oh no... It's annoying that there's no checkpoint there. I really hope there would be. I'm also amazed that I'm getting up there without getting hurt. Wow, something crushed me, maybe? I don't know. I don't actually know what level features are supposed to be there. Is there something that's supposed to hurt me? I don't know. That's kind of funny. Just everything seemed to just land in place there. It's kind of cool. So I realised why I'm not hearing all the ring sounds. It's because I've got one earphone off, so I was only hearing the rings in my left ear. Ah! Can't believe it. I need to remember to jump every time. As soon as I land on that platform, just jump right away. Think that might be a bullet from a buzz bomber hitting me there? But we'll find out. I realise I'm very quiet, kind of deep in concentration here. It is, I mean, that's like, you actually can meaningfully concentrate on this one. That's kind of unusual compared to the other things that I've done. But you can focus. Yeah, totally lost it. Usually when you get hit, it flings you to the right, and then you just jump and the platform will catch up with you. This time, it went to the left. It threw Sonic to the left, and totally lost track of where the platform was. So yeah, I am getting into a rhythm with this, I feel like, but it is requiring me to look very intently, it's requiring me to listen, and pay attention to things like changes in the movement of the screen, which is kind of unusual, but you figure out that you can do that. You can figure out, is Sonic being pushed because the screen has stopped scrolling, like there. And then you can figure out how fast you're moving because you're moving at roughly the same speed. You know, if the background moves at the speed Sonic's moving, so you can figure out, am I moving at the same speed as am I moving the same speed as the rock was in the lava? And then so you know that you're probably going to land on the rock when you get to the other side. So it's interesting how playing like this, I feel, is like, in a way, the others made me think. You know, I had to think to figure out where I was in the world. And, you know, I had to think to figure out what button is what and how to figure out how to fill the gaps in my controls. With this, I'm spending a lot more energy on perceiving. You know, I'm spending a lot of energy, you know, mental energy, I mean, to not to figure out, like, what are the inputs that I can use to figure out where I am or what to do, but just on, you know, perceiving. I am concentrating on paying attention to what's going on the screen, what's going on in the sound effects. So I'm jumping in case there's bats, and then I jump to get up here. I feel like I got up safely. And then there's this thing, which I heard go clunk, so I thought that meant, oh, it's at the bottom, and it was not. There's more bats, I can hear them. I think I've lost all my rings. Yeah, that's a death. Making progress. Wish I knew where the checkpoint was in this level. I mean, I could look it up, but I don't want to. We'll keep on going. Keep on believing in myself. And it certainly isn't more fun than playing the game normally. But it's a surprisingly interesting challenge. Like, certainly engaging. Of course, a certain amount of this, like, I don't think... You know, there's various things that make this work. One of them is that Sonic is an incredibly forgiving game. I think I've mentioned that already. Another is it's a game I am very familiar with. Now, obviously, the later we get into the game, the less true that's going to be. I have no idea what hit me there. Because I know I've played the early levels much more than I've played the later levels. But what I'm relying on in order to play the game is, you know, on a kind of strategic level, there is a lot of knowledge, foreknowledge that's going into this. And then, you know, and that's helping me on a kind of problem-solving level. And then once I've got those things, once I've got those strategies in my head, acting them out is... You know, really, it's drawing upon my sensory perception. You know, drawing in information like how fast is the background moving, things like that. Drawing in information like, is the background moving, and things like that. I think I'm out of rings. And it does make it a much more manageable problem than it was in the previous hacks. What it also adds is that, unlike playing the game normally, all of these stages are kind of clearly marked out for you. You don't have, like, thinking and perceiving. Usually in a game there's something that happens kind of simultaneously. You have the problem solving at kind of the same moment as you have the responding and the taking in information. Now, because there's less information, I have to spend more energy kind of filling in the gaps for what used to be there. But it's making this kind of clearly kind of marked out spaces of, okay, at this moment in time, I'm focusing on thinking, and on this moment in time, I am focusing on perceiving. And that's kind of strange, that's kind of curious. I've missed a boat. That's annoying. I wonder if I go back, will there be another one? God, I have no idea what even hit me there. It might have been the, it might have been from a bat brain or something. Flapping around there. And I know there's something that hits me there. I don't know what it is. It might be a fireball. I always get hit by it. So I was talking to my dad today on the phone. It's Father's Day when I'm recording this. And he'd been watching these videos, and he asked, like, I mean, it was not phrased as a criticism, but the real question was, why? Why am I doing these? What am I hoping to get out of them? And I guess I said, what I'm looking for is I want to find out, when you break these, when you take a certain bit of information away from them, a certain bit of the experience away, what is the experience like to, not just sort of what does it do for, what does it do to, is it beatable, how easy or hard is it, but on a kind of level of, like, as a kind of interactive experience, what does it do to the experience? I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, but I kind of want to see what happens if I do it. What happens if I try? What unexpected things might come up? What might it say about how we experience these things? And then, like, I've been reading a book, it's called Surrealism in Play. I'm afraid I can't remember the author off the top of my head. And this book's talking about surrealists, and it's talking about the game they play called The Exquisite Corpse, where they piece together, they make an image of a figure by sort of drawing part of it on a piece of paper and folding it over so the next artist can't see it. And I was thinking, like, it struck me today how these two activities are related in some way. And to be perfectly honest with you, I cannot remember what my conclusion was on it. I came up with some real profound way in which these two things were related, and I cannot remember what that was. So in my moments of silence at the moment, I'm trying to figure out what was that profound thought I had today. Give me a ring. No. Okay, my ring's gone, so I'm probably going to die on these spikes. Oh, I got a ring. I think it's the same effect for spikes coming out and spikes going in. Oh, I remember now. I think those are really tiny platforms that are dropping down there. So if I go up here... Now I'm going to really need to concentrate. Oh, I was so close! I was so close. Working out that those were little platforms. They're like only one Sonic wide. That was like a real Eureka moment there. I really feel like I kind of figured something out there. I have my picture in my head of what those platforms coming up and down look like, but I'm not entirely sure how correct they are, like, or whether I'm actually just imagining what they look like. No, way off. But I was thinking about maybe I should, once I get to the bottom of that, I should try going, instead of getting the extra life TV and going up, I should go down and find a checkpoint down there. That might make my life easier. Through that bit without getting hurt, that's a new experience. That's where I go. Yep, I'm out. Can't get it. I can't believe... I feel like I sort of had... I had the ability to do that bit and then just kind of lost it. And that is annoying. I think that's a caterpillar and I'm just getting it from the back instead of the front. Every time I come through there and get hit. Missed a boat. Totally had no concept of how fast it was moving or where it is. Have I just got... Oh, I'm on it! I'm on it! I think I ended up with no rings, but I think there's rings up here and to the right, so I should live, hopefully, if I can get through this bit. Okay, I got 2 rings there. I do have a kind of quite vivid mental picture of what's going on in here, which is kind of helpful. Okay, I did it. I don't want to fall off. I don't want to fall off. Yes! And a checkpoint. I got to the boss. So... I was just kind of trying to intuit where everything was there, and where's Robotnik? Oh, there's a platform there moving up and down. As always, you can't really see it. So, where does Robotnik appear? What's the first thing he does there? I'm not sure. Oh, I know he comes in and he drops the fireballs on and it sets fire to the platforms. But it's hard to tell you much more than that. So I suspect there will be a lot of trial and error in this bit. So I'm over on the far left now, and I'm just waiting. So now he's on the far right. Oh, okay, I had something going there. I was like, how fast does he move? I thought it only drops the lava. Like, he seemed to drop in quite quick succession there. Oh, does he go over to the middle first? Oh well, that side's on fire. Is it that he flies over to the middle and then goes over to the left-hand side? So... So if I keep on... No. got a vague picture of where he is, but, like, I swear he only moves kind of... Do you see there's a bit there where the background just kind of stops abruptly and the next bit of background starts? Like, say on the, like, left-hand third of the screen, there's just, like, this kind of, just, bit cut out. I'll show you again one more time. Like, there we go. Roughly in the middle of the screen, like, there's just kind of, like, sheer in one of the mountains. That's really weird. I'm assuming that wasn't something that I've done with the glitches, but... I had a thing going on there. I was kind of moving left to right and just jumping, and it's like, jump and move to one side, hold down the button for a bit, and then kind of hold the other direction, jump, and then keep on holding it for a bit, and just kind of periodically switch between those two things. And that seemed to hit Robotnik a few times. It's easier if you have slightly more rings. So if you're on the left-hand side and you get hurt, I think the ring flies off the screen. So, I mean, does that mean I want to stay on the right? Is there a lava ball jumping out of the middle of the pool there, and that's one of the things that's going woof, woof all the time? Or does it just go woof when he drops a lava ball? Let's keep on trying and see how I do. I seem to have it down, like how to get past that bit and get back to these rings, and then get up again without getting hurt. I seem to have totally just lost that ability, so I might just run into the lava and have another go. And does throw into question how much of this was me actually knowing what I'm doing and how much is just, you know, luck. Oh, I am kind of stumped as how to figure this out. Like, without seeing where Robotnik is or where I am, that is really hard. So I realise I've been going for roughly like an hour and 20 minutes now. Maybe if I give myself 20 more minutes against Robotnik, if I don't beat him, I, like, say, I call it tonight. Because, yeah, I mean, right now I am stumped as to how to figure this out. I mean, I guess it's just like before. I just need to figure out a rhythm. I guess doing that from first principles, as opposed to so yeah, I've got stereo sound, so whenever I hear Sonic screeching or something, and it's just in one ear, I assume that's the side Sonic's on, but That's not actually how it works. I don't think I've got any rings. Yep. And here's something, yeah, I think that is a difference probably between everything I've been doing so far. I did a lot of just running to one side and jumping there. Like, I was mostly just holding right and jumping and pressing left occasionally. So I don't know if that... Come on, Alistair. I don't know if that tells us something. Curious to find out. So I'm on the right hand side and I'm just jumping and holding right at the moment. Ooh, okay, that's kind of telling. I can go all the way to the right, hold right, hit him twice, and then I will eventually take damage. But maybe I can run to the right, keep on jumping. When I hear one crunch, then I go to the left. What you don't get against the bosses is you don't get the screen scroll to tell you roughly where you are. You have to just kind of guess by your knowledge of how fast Sonic moves. That... I don't know, it felt like I was close to something there. No idea where I was, no idea what hit me. So what I was trying to do there was kind of align myself ever so slightly with the edge, like the middle. Well, that was going to happen, wasn't it? I don't know why I was pressing jump, he didn't seem to be jumping. So maybe I'd just already fallen off the edge of the level. That was good guessing of, like, where I was and where I could jump. That was not. I think the most I've landed on him is 5 hits so far. But then the bosses always give you a few kind of free hits early on. So I think I'm roughly just on the edge of the right-hand platform. On the right of the right-hand platform. That must be me having hit into the lava. So you hit him twice, and then I think maybe run to the right. So I'm just at the far right, and I'm jumping up and down, and then... Oh, I was doing something right there. I jumped twice on the far right of the screen, hit Robotnik twice, ran to the left, jumped over, got there safely, jumped twice, got Robotnik, then got hit by something. Maybe I just need to start counting again. Oh god, this is... It's so hard to tell if you're making progress or not. It's like, I have no metric for that, and because I don't have a mental picture of, like, I have a mental picture in my head, and I know that's somehow wrong, because either Robotnik's moving from side to side too fast, but this thing of go all the way to one side, jump, keep on jumping until you hear a crunch, and then go to the other side, that has to be close to it. But like, what's the exact set of movements? Because I seem to be falling into something. I'm getting hit by something, but I don't know, is that the platform's catching fire? Is that the lava pit in the middle of the screen? Oh god, it's like I don't even know where I am in the level. I want more rings. I'm gonna just kill Sonic and wait for a chance to do this with more rings. Because I sworn I was on a platform I could jump off of, but evidently not. So the first one on the right hand side, he doesn't do anything. The second one... right, I got hit by something. I'm over on the right hand side. Oh, okay. I feel like I'm close to something, and I just... And it's just not close enough. Because I know I can hit him once on this side, he goes over to the other side, then he comes back to this side. I hit him, I jump to the right. So what I was doing there is, as soon as I heard the crunch, I was, as soon as I heard the crunch noise, I changed direction on the direction pad. That seemed to work. That seemed to make some semblance of progress. So that's a start. That is getting there. I died. And then I just realised I'm holding all the way to the left. Maybe I need to move a little bit to the right, just so I know I'm in the middle of the platform, and that'll help me make my daring escape. Hopefully. Whatever. You really need... I mean, you really need 2 rings, I think. Like... because you're always going to lose 1 ring. Like... when you lose 2 rings... 1 goes to the left, 1 of them goes to the right, so you can catch 1 of them. Oh, I had it. I had so many hits there without taking damage. And what that was, I was like, it was what I just described. I was occasionally tapping right and going, you know, tapping to the side just to stay out of damage. I'm tapping with a kind of rhythm, sort of roughly in time with the music. Like... let's see, I'll sing it while I'm doing this, so... jump, 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 jump. I wonder if I messed up because I changed the rhythm. This is incredibly hard. Another glass of water. Keep on trying. See, I feel like this could be learnable. Oh, I don't know what's hitting me. I really don't know what's hitting me. Oh. Now, I could look at a video to see what Robotnik's doing. I don't feel like I get much out of... well, no, I feel like I get too much out of that. Like, it's kind of... would defeat the challenge. You know, we know from the last boss that I can figure it out if I know exactly what it's doing. Now I know vaguely what it's doing. I'm figuring out things, so I want to stick with this, but it's exhausting and it doesn't feel like there's room for me to make progress. Where are my rings going? Like, surely if I get hit them, and I go to the right, oh sorry, go to the left, I should be able to hit one of the rings that flew out of me. And not this time, I'll only have one or none, because try again. I'm just trying to try it anyway without rings. I had a thing there where instead of leaping up, once I hit him and heard the crunch, I stopped, I held down a direction for like a second or something, and then I jumped. And I got a couple of hits without damage there. So I'm all the way to the right. I got 2 crunches, that's... I think I'm jumping into a fireball there in the middle of the screen. I can't tell where that fireball is. That's a hard thing about that bit. This is really tough. This is really, really hard. Didn't have any rings. It's funny, going back and getting more rings is dangerous enough. Right. I'm not sure what hit me. I think it was the fire on the platform. Okay, I am going to give myself 3 more chances at Robotnik, and if I don't get it, I think I'm just not going to get it tonight. Said 3 more goes at Robotnik. I'm just throwing myself in the lava. I was kind of hoping I might accidentally stumble upon an invincibility TV down there. So he goes over to the left and to the right. I have no idea what hit me there. I'm going to watch back a video of what that bus does after this, and I'm going to be like... Or I could create a save state. That's what I'll do. I'm going to create a save state. I'm going to have a go, like, without this mod, and then see if I can use that to help me remember what to do. And that's what I'll do. So, back in a minute. Right, so we should be back in the room now. I am going to have another go at this. Wow, there is a platform there. It's weird seeing the screen seem more populated. I still get... Oh, right, there's 2 fireballs there. That's why I get hit. It is weird seeing the screen populated and being like, oh my god, there's so much stuff. And it's weird. It feels cramped. It feels cluttered. And it also feels, like, weird. So that's the 2 bits where I hit him. He flies over to the left. Eyes up. I get the 1-2 hits in there, but the second one hits me. So I kind of need to hit him once there, and then hit some there, and then I get hit by the thing. Ooh, okay. I have beaten this boss before. But I'm like trying to, like, what is a method that I can replicate? So. I'm just going to replicate what I was doing. Oh. Right, well I can't do that because I get hit. If I try and do the same thing again, I get hit by... If I try and use that same method again, I get hit by whatever it was that was hitting me before. So, what's the thing that I do? I need to find some way I can... I'm always going to get hurt by that, so I need to go... Right, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Maybe that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4... That's what I need to do. I need to count to 4. I get the crunch. And then... I run to the left, count to 4, and then just run back to the right. Let's get that down. And then again. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1. This is going to be hard. This is going to be hard to do multiple times, but let's give it a go. Alright, one more practice run, and I'm going to have a go with pick the sprites off. So I get this one. Two. Two. One, two. Oh, he didn't jump. That threw me. 1, 2. 2. If I can't even get it while I can see what's going on, That does not bode well for me, but... Alright, let's give it a go. Wish me luck. Let's try this again. After getting the rings, now that I know where they are. It's weird. I had pictured this bit looking totally different. Like, the rings were not so close together and there were only 2 of them. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill Sonic there and have another go. Oh yeah, because there's 2 things that aren't there. Stupid. Oh well. Have a go. One, 2. Ah, I hit him and fell in the lava, but that was good. Okay. Ooh. Well, I had a picture in my head of where I thought I was, and well, that was not what was going on, because I swear I was on the left-hand side of the screen, and it was like Robotnik came in early with that thing. I guess it's kind of good that these bosses are kind of deterministic, that they'll always move in the same way, that there's no kind of random chance element to them. Because at least it means that you could put together a kind of rhythm for this. And I guess he does move in time to the music, as long as you kind of enter the screen, you know, that the music starts and him entering it, the screen are kind of lined up, and that's down to you playing consistently. No! Okay, I heard it. I beat him. I heard his ship blowing up. And then I died from something. And I don't know what. Oh. I'm going in the lava. Oh, I had it. I blew up Robotnik. It must have been like some of the lava that he dropped. there was something close to it being right there. There was something close. I guess this would probably all be more visually interesting if you had a feed of what was going on in my head. Unfortunately, we don't have the technology for that yet. Yeah, no, totally messed that up. I mean, to be fair, when you have everything on screen, it's very easy to mess that up as well. Like, you go back to get your ring and end up in a point where you're going to get hurt anyway, and then you lose that ring anyway, and then you're like, oh, I'm stuck in the lava. I can't believe that after beating it. I made him blow up! I made Robotnik blow up! I mean, I'm the only person saying that whether or not that's good enough to count it as a complete level. If it was one of my stage shows, like, you would win when you defeat Robotnik. But that's because it makes for good drama. Yeah. I forgot to move. I hit Robotnik and forgot to move to the other side. This must be quite an interesting radio play at this point. No. Ah, god damn it, I had it. I had this bit where I was kind of, instead of jumping as soon as I got to the other side, I just wait like a half second and then run back and jump. And it was working. And then it all fell apart. I mean, that's the sound of it falling apart. Oh, if I get hit while I'm on the right-hand side as well, it's probably a timing thing, like... when I start jumping for Robotnik... I think I've got no rings. I'm gonna die. I could hit, like, those moments where you hit and you don't hear Sonic getting hit are like, you know, your heart leaps up into your throat, like, is this the one? Is this the one? I wonder if I can do something from the sound of him dropping stuff and that kind of woof sound it makes. Keep on trying. Never give up, never surrender. I did it again! I did it again! I have no idea. I was just guessing on that one. I was honestly just guessing. Yep, just go into the lava, no point. Oh, it's excruciating. And that's okay, because I've got rings! I did it! I did it! I beat Marble Zone. I beat Marble Zone. Oh my god. I can't believe I did that. Oh god, I mean, that was exhausting. That was tense. I feel like there was a certain amount of chance there. I did need to get the rhythm. You know, I couldn't figure out the rhythm on my own. I needed other, you know, I needed a bit of input. You know, it was weird. Like, I needed to go back to... Okay, this is going to be fun. I needed to go back to the... I don't know where I am. It's like I needed to... Step one, you know, was get the video to help me. Like, watch it back with... Play it with sprites and figure it out with sprites. Then I, you know, figured out the rhythm of it, realised that I needed to only hit him on the right-hand side of the screen. Then... Step 2 was trying to implement that in real life and realising that I needed to time things a bit differently. And then step 3 was figuring out a kind of safe timing for getting multiple hits in. And fortunately, like, I managed to get in extra hits as Robotnik was flying over the middle of the screen. Now, I did not know that that was going to happen. You know, and I think it was lucky that the fact that I got those hits in, and for whatever reason, they ended up being safe to do, I was able to beat the boss much quicker than I thought, so that meant taking less damage, and so yeah, there was definitely a certain amount of luck in that. So yeah, I am probably going to call it tonight because it is nearly 10 o'clock. But I think until 10 o'clock, I am going to play Spring Yard and just see how I get on with Spring Yard. So these are the platforms moving up and down, and you just have to wait for the gaps between them. What's definitely happening in this level is there's a lot more stuff causing me to lose rings. In the previous level, it was kind of obvious that everything that would cause me to lose rings was basically something to do with the floor. Now there's lots of things which are going to hurt me, but, you know, they'll hurt me, but they, you know, that they are above the floor. And then, oh, we've got the moving platforms that go. So, to the left is something I can stand on, I think. And then when it goes up, I go to the left. And then when this one goes up, I go to the right. This one up, I go to the right. Oh, that was more manageable than I thought. And that's a spring, but I think there's a platform here. can jump onto. I know there's baddies there. There's spinning balls there, so I am amazed that I managed to get through that, and I know there's a baddie there. I did not realise there was another one. Or that one. Oh well, at least there's plenty of rings. Okay, Springyard Zone seems like quite a fun zone to play like this. Because even, yeah, I don't know where I'm going. But bouncing around seems kind of light. It's like... But it is interesting that there is a different kind of trap here. Whereas in Marble Zone, the traps were basically don't touch the floor. Now they're introducing stuff that's like, don't touch what's above you, don't touch what's in front of you. And that is something I'd never noticed before. Is that where the danger is changes in Springyard. I'd never really thought about it. It's funny, like, going, you know there's danger there, but you have no idea what you're watching out for. I know there's spiky things on these flat platforms, but I can't remember where they are. So jump and roll as often as you can seems to be the watchword. But then thinking about how fast I'm getting through Springyard now, it certainly does feel more forgiving than Marble Zone, where Marble Zone is here is a place where you must stop, otherwise this level will kill you. Here's where you have to stop, here's why you have to wait. You don't have to do as much stopping and waiting in Springyard. And it's noticeable by how quickly I got through that level, but also, like, I'm not having to concentrate as hard on this one. I think I'd always known that, you know, the levels in Sonic 1 go easy, hard, and they go, you know, and not only that, they go kind of, odd-numbered levels are like playgrounds, even-numbered levels are like, puzzles. They're mazes, they're challenges, they're gauntlets. I think that's a kind of curious design because in a way it's sort of like the difficulty curve is really kind of a wave. But in another sense, like, you can see why they designed it that way, is that you have a slow level where you really feel like you had to work. And now, you get your reward, which is the fun, bouncy, springy level, where you can play. You have to expend a bit of mental effort, and then you get to play bouncy physics fun with springs. I don't think I have any rings, so I am a little bit nervous at the moment. Less so now. Oh. Maybe I spoke too soon. Or not. Hearing that ring sound is really important, because that's how you know that you're not totally out to sea. I don't know what crushed me. I think I'm at the beginning of the level again. Yep. window to go up on this bit. But yeah, you can see why they would want to put a playground in between the slow levels. I mean, it's like... The thing is, though, as a kid... And I think this is something that they must have realised with Sonic 2. I don't mean they personally were watching me play and thinking, oh, what would make it a better game for Alistair? But, like, for me... Marble Zone and Labyrinth were a pain. Honestly, Scrap Ring was a pain as well. Though I would always use Level Select. I would always go back to Spring Yard and Starlight Zone. And Starlight Zone is easy. Like, there's a couple of bits. It's probably really hard with this because, you know, you have to jump between the spring platforms. And that's kind of not really feasible with this set of mechanics, you know? But presumably thought, okay, even though, like, the jumping is interesting, like, I played Labyrinth again as an adult and was like, actually, Labyrinth is a really interesting level, because that's where all the really interesting jumping stuff is. And it's got stuff where it really challenges your perception, because, you know, of the colours. I noticed that there's this really interesting thing they do with the colour, where everything that is white, everything that you're supposed to pay attention to, has a bit of pure white on it. And these bits of pure white mean, you know, and you notice it underwater because it shifts the colours of everything except for the things that are pure white. And it actually makes it quite hard to identify important stuff on... Sorry, easy to identify important stuff on the screen. Because everything important has a bit of white on it. Badniks have a bit of white on them. Sonic has bits of white on him, like his eyes, or when he's curled up into a ball, he has a little white shiny bit on him. And what these do is it make it easy at a glance to see where everything is that you need to pay attention to. And by and large, and this isn't 100% true for everything, like there are some level elements which have pure white in them. But by and large, if you need to pay attention to it, it will have white in it. And if you don't have to pay attention to it, it won't have white in it. I can't jump very high here, and I don't know why. Is there another platform there? Oh, it's because these platforms are on top of each other. That's why. I think I know what I need to do here. Okay, my plan is now I'm going to get to Robotnik, and then I'm going to call it a night. I mean, I'm assuming Robotnik's going to be just as hard in Spring Yard as he was in Marble Zone. I mean, we can hope, but I'm not holding out a massive amount of confidence that it's going to be a, you know, particularly different experience, and that's fine. I think, well, I've been playing this for about 2 hours. This has been quite interesting, and I think what I've got from it is, you know, compared to the other things, just how learnable and solvable this is, although a lot of that is drawing on prior experience and prior knowledge. And you saw with the boss, I had to go and play it without the mod in order to figure out what to do. So it wasn't like I still needed the external input in order to be able to solve it. It wasn't solvable on its own terms, you know? But the other thing is and came up particularly in Marble Zone is the way my energy was kind of, my concentration was split, between thinking and perceiving, and there was time to think and there was time to perceive. And that's kind of interesting because we usually put these two things together. We usually, exert them both at the same time or with so much proximity to each other that we don't notice that we are doing two different brain processes at once while we're playing. And I don't know, I find that kind of interesting. Like, I don't know, I've never seen it really kind of played with or questioned or talked about. Like, I read academic books about games and things, and games and play and stuff, and I've never really seen it questioned, the differences between thinking and perception in games, but they are two different mental processes. Yeah, I had no idea where I was there. I mean, those are platforms moving up and down. That's about all I got for you there. Yeah. And that's the big thing that was going through my head. But also, like, I'll be honest, is it because I was making easier progress this time? I was making faster progress, certainly. Is it that I was just making faster progress that means that I feel like this was a much more pleasant experience? And I don't know if it's that just because it was easier, or is it because in the other two I was having to actively think. Like, there wasn't really... With the visual one where I scrambled all the colours, there wasn't really a lot for me to perceive. So it was all thinking. That was where all my energy was going, was thinking my way through the challenge. And with the controller, scrambling the buttons every 30 seconds, all my energy was going on thinking. Thinking about, what am I supposed to do to solve this controller? And what's hitting me? What am I supposed to stand on? I think it's one of those things that moves back and forth, but I'm not sure. But yeah, all my energy was going on... Ah, thank God for that. All my energy was going on... thinking. None of it was going on perceiving. And maybe, perceiving and reacting is just a more relaxing mode of interaction than thinking is. Maybe that's it. And I always go on about how what I really like in games is kind of soft skills. I like making games that rely on soft skills. And I just find that interesting that, because the things that I think of as the sort of common skills that we use in games are not, that I mean in contrast to the soft skills that I like. I'm talking about, like, problem solving, which is very thinky. Problem solving, and I don't know where I am. Problem solving and, reflexes. And, skills, soft skills like perception and, spotting the odd one out in a crowd and things like that. To me, these are really interesting skills for us to use in games, and what's kind of nice about them is that they're natural to everyone. But is there a thing which is like these kind of soft skills, as well as being natural to everyone, are also just more relaxing? So here's Robotnik. I have no idea where I am. This is a blank screen. I think it's time to call it a night. It's 10 past 10. But yeah, so that's some interesting stuff. Like, is perceiving just more a more relaxing experience than thinking, or reflexes? Is it games that, and I hadn't really, I'm thinking and perceiving are two opposites in those, like the Myers-Briggs tests and stuff. Like, they separate those thinking and feeling into two kind of they're an axis, and regardless of what you think about, Myers-Briggs and all of that, basically what it's getting at is it is picking out these two forms of processing information and going, these are different in some way. And I think that's curious. I mean, I don't think there's ever been, to my knowledge, I don't know of any, intentional study into that, anyone looking into that as a designer going, what is the difference between thinking through our play and perceiving in our play in terms of how we interact with them? What games are more think-based? What games are more perception-based? I'll give an example. When I was making Codex Bash, which is like a puzzle game. It's a puzzle game where you're solving these kind of code-breaking puzzles. And the reality is, I know it. I don't know if the players know it, although I have mentioned it many times, chatting to people after they played it. None of the puzzles are actually hard. None of them really ask you to do any problem solving beyond the kind of soft problem solving of how do you organize your team to do this most efficiently. And really, the biggest challenges are, being able to spot something in the room, in the environment, on the screen that might be a helpful clue to crack the code, and then be able to make the mental leap that this bit of information and that bit of information can be fit together to make an answer. So it's like, I've got a sheet of photos with, the spies' names, and the spies' names all involve colours. The 4 buttons are red, yellow, green, and blue. You have to press them in the game, and what you see on the screen is a sequence of faces. And there's this little Eureka moment where someone goes, oh, those faces on the piece of paper are the same as the ones on the screen, and their code names have colours. So, what's the first face? The first face is called Red Sparrow. I find, Red Sparrow, that means I have to press the red button, and things like that. So the challenge doesn't involve thinking, it just involves perception, it just involves spotting what's around you. And, that made it something that was very easy for everybody in the room to pitch in on, because nobody felt like they were out of their depth. And that adds another thing, which, when we make a game that's all about thinking, it's not just that for some people this is harder than others, or for some people they have the prior knowledge of similar games that makes this easier than it is for other people. But maybe some of it is the thinking, the perception, the attitude, that you come in with an attitude that says, this particular game is not for me, this is for clever people, or something. And when you have a game where it's all kind of soft skills, where there's nothing in it that, that feels like a puzzle in the way that, a cryptic crossword is a puzzle, or a Sudoku is a puzzle, and if it doesn't look like a puzzle, then people feel welcomed to have a go. or moreover, if you call it a puzzle, but, you know they can interact with it with the soft skills that they already have and recognize, and it doesn't look like something that requires thought, then it feels accessible to everyone, and we find out, oh, everybody is equally as good at these things, so everybody can pitch into the team, everyone can feel a part of solving the problem, and you know, that's what that game was about. When I made Codex Smash, it was all about, it wasn't about being a hard game, it wasn't about rewarding, you know, smart thinking or anything, or being learnable or anything like that. It was about a bunch of people go into a room and play this for 10 minutes, and, you know, they should come out of it going, that was the best 10 minutes I've had in years, you know? That was my objective, and part of, you know, how to do that was to make them have a good experience as a team, where everybody in the room got to feel like they pitched in something. Everybody in the room got to feel like they had something to say and they had something to do. And yeah, and so, like, is part of it is that what this game was drawing on to do that was perception. All these soft skills I talk about, they come down to being challenges of perception rather than challenges of thought, challenges of logic. And I think that's a really interesting design question to think about further. And are there other, like, you know, I've mentioned Myers-Briggs, and Myers-Briggs puts thinking and perception on an axis as opposites, and I don't like to believe that the world acts like that. I don't like to believe that, you know, everything's in opposites and you're either an A or a B. You know, you're either column A or column B. There's lots of columns and we all exist in multiple columns. And, you know, are there other ways of processing information that we can play with and that we can use in play and we can use in games that will have different effects and different feels and different outcomes? So yeah, something to think about, I guess. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope that you have enjoyed this, and you know what? I actually genuinely have quite enjoyed this one. The other two felt a bit like hard work. This one, I mean, it had its ups and downs. The marble zone was nasty, but... Oh, and time's run out. So... Okay, we're hearing funny noise because the hack I put in is a memory hack. It just, to give you infinite lives, actually just keeps on giving you more lives periodically. So we had some weird effects there where it was just, you know, it killed the player but was kept on giving them more lives. So now we've got some weird effects. I think that's a fun point to leave it on. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and, yeah, keep on being awesome. Bye-bye.